The old man shuffled toward the monument, his worn boots scraping against the cold stone pathway. Around him, tourists bustled past, their cameras clicking, their chatter rising like the hum of distant bees. No one slowed. No one noticed. A man, in a faded jacket, his hands trembling, was nothing more than background noise to them. "Sir, this is a restricted area. Please step back," barked a young security guard, his voice sharp and dismissive. The old man paused. His gaze, clouded by time, remained fixed on the bronze plaque before him. His chest rose and fell with shallow breaths. He didn't speak. He didn't resist. He simply stood there, holding a small, folded flag against his heart. The guard frowned. Stepping closer, "I said move along." A few people glanced their way, but no one intervened. No one cared. The old man's shoulders sagged beneath the weight of years that no one could see. He had once marched across foreign deserts, had once stood at the edge of life and death, defending the freedom these strangers now hurried past. But medals gather dust. Memories fade, and heroes are often forgotten. His name was Thomas Grayson, a former master sergeant who had led men through battles most couldn't bear to remember. He'd survived ambushes that painted the dirt crimson. He'd held the hands of brothers as their final breaths slipped away. His back still bore the scars from shrapnel that tore through him like burning glass. His hearing had long dimmed, a faint ringing replacing the clarity of the battlefield. But what lingered most were the faces, the ones who never came home. Each year, on this day, he returned. Not for himself, but for them. For the names etched into the cold stone. For the promises whispered over broken bodies. For the silent oath he carried long after the salutes had stopped. "Move, sir." The guard pressed, his patience thinning as Thomas's fingers tightened around the flag. His throat constricted, but he remained silent. He wasn't here to argue. He wasn't here to explain. His war was never for applause. The guard reached out, about to pull him away. But then, a voice, steady and commanding, cut through the crowd. "Stand down." A young man in crisp navy attire approached, his stride purposeful. His insignia gleamed under the midday sun, a United States Navy SEAL. The guard hesitated. "He's trespassing, sir." The SEAL's gaze never left Thomas. His next words would carve themselves into the memory of every bystander who heard them. "This man has already walked where you never will. He's already stood where courage is demanded and where many falter. You will not ask him to step back." The guard, suddenly unsure, lowered his hand and melted into the crowd. The SEAL approached Thomas, his boots falling in perfect rhythm, until he stood directly before him. Without a word, he raised his hand in a slow, deliberate salute, one forged from honor, not ceremony. Thomas's lip quivered, his worn eyes glistening with the weight of years. He returned the salute, his hand steady, his silence profound. Around them, the world seemed to pause. Conversations faded, cameras lowered. One by one, those who moments ago had ignored him now stood still, their heads bowing in quiet reverence. In that moment, Thomas Grayson was not invisible. He was not forgotten. The SEAL lowered his hand, his voice soft but resolute. "Some battles never end, sir, but neither does respect." Thomas offered a faint nod, his throat too thick for words, and as the young SEAL turned to leave, a whisper passed through the gathered crowd. 3 simple words that would echo long after they'd gone. "Never forget him." Some heroes do not need to speak. Their silence says more than 1,000 voices ever could. Some wounds are not meant to be seen. Some honors do not fade with time. And some salutes change everything. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. And remember, subscribe for more stories that honor those who walk quietly but leave footsteps that never fade.